Chapter 2. The week flew by. Between classes, football practice, usual high school crap. I made it to our Friday night game. I played one hell of a game. The Creighton Cranes got 2 touchdowns and we slaughtered the other team, 15-2. The atmosphere was jubilant. We felt untouchable. After the game, the guys, as usual, were going to hang out at the local diner. "Mitch, you coming, man?" Tyler Devereaux asked me, slapping me on the shoulder. "No, man. I'm tired." "Oh, come on. You're not going to go home and sleep." "I'm tired, man. I'll talk to you later. I have a lot of studying to do." "Okay, talk to you later." I grabbed my bag and headed out. Mara was nowhere to be seen. I guess she went with one of her girlfriends. I'll catch up with her later. I got in my black Audi R8 and drove home. The streets of Creighton were pretty quiet with everyone at the diner after the football game, or people were at home watching it on TV. Creighton seemed like a quiet little town full of rich snobs that didn't have anything better to do than judge each other and compete with each other. Not for the first time. I wished I grew up somewhere else. Somewhere where people actually mattered and people cared about more than the bank account and the bottom line. And who you are inside mattered as much as what you wore on the outside. I sighed as I turned into my driveway. The familiar feeling of hopelessness that I felt every time after a win came over me. It was like after a win I felt high, but the come down hit me hard every time. This sadness and melancholy. I didn't know what to do. It's like my life was a runaway train and I didn't know how to stop it. I was tired of getting drunk and doing pot and coke. Whatever would take the pain away. But even that wasn't helping anymore. All the parties and going places with Mara and everything in my life seemed meaningless and something had to change. But I didn't know what had to change or how to change it. I grabbed my bag from the passenger seat and went to open the door. I opened the door and stepped out, and then I walked up to the front door. As I was walking towards the front door, I saw a little separate add-on tucked into the corner. I've been dating Mara since high school, and I always wondered what that little separate add-on was and just kind of shrugged it off. Maybe it was some garage or some house that were for guests or something. I didn't know what it was, and I didn't have time to think about it. I went into the dark house and inside the kitchen. The house was silent. Not the good silence like the peaceful silence, but the silence of the house felt oppressive. Felt stifling, like I needed to open a window to breathe. But the windows in this house were unable to open. They were floor to ceiling, and no air could come in and out. It was kind of like how I was feeling. My life looked open and carefree and lively, but I couldn't open up to be the real me. Like I was stuck inside myself. This stuffy shell of a person, and I was longing to be free. Free to date who I wanted. Free to be friends with who I want. Free from the labels. Free from everything. But there again, I just didn't know how. I didn't drink alcohol in the season, so I grabbed a bottle of water from the fridge and closed the fridge door. I decided to head upstairs to my room. As I was about to head upstairs, I noticed a piece of paper peeking from my bag. Oh, I went over and grabbed it from my bag. It was the Sweet Fantasies website, or whatever, that I got from Marin's bag. I never see her at the games. I don't know why, because there is wheelchair-accessible seating, but I never see her, so I couldn't give it to her. All of a sudden, I was compelled to see what this website was. I didn't know Marin well, and something told me that this website would give me a picture of the girl behind the chair. I grabbed the paper, put it on the table. I took my phone out of my pocket, got onto a search engine, and typed in the password and typed in the website. The passwords to all the school websites were standard. The student could change it if they wanted to, but your username was your student email, and your password was your student birthday. I didn't know if Marin had changed her password, but I typed in her student email, which was her last name and then her first name. I typed in her birthday, which is the same birthday as Mara's. It took a second, but the screen came alive. In the student account was Marin's student website, but below that was a website marked private and confidential. I clicked on that website and it asked for her personal email and her password. From years of dating Mara, I knew Marin's email, but I wasn't sure of the password. But to give it a shot, I typed in her birthday again. I was surprised when the login worked. As the website loaded, I could see at the top page it said Sweet Fantasies blog. A strange anticipation and excitement came over me as I began to read.
Marin, have you ever kept a secret for years? Something that you couldn't tell anyone, no matter what it was? If the answer's yes, Fantasia, you're just like me. I've been keeping many secrets for years. Secrets that if they got out, they would emotionally, spiritually, and physically devastate this whole town. But I can't keep them in anymore. But I can't tell anyone. So I'm using my leftover student website from coding class to create a place where I can just write everything down. Everything that I'm hiding. Everything that I want to say. Everything that I'm afraid to say. And I'm calling it Sweet Fantasies. It's going to be everything about me. You're going to get to know everything about me, Fantasia. I'm calling you Fantasia because it's the only name I can think of that goes with fantasy. And diary is so boring. And I'm more creative than that. So from now on, I'll be referring to you as Fantasia. My first secret, and possibly the most explosive secret, is I've been in love and wanting, pining, lusting after my sister's boyfriend, Mitch Knowles, ever since my sister started dating him at the beginning of high school. He's hot, Fantasia. When I say hot, hotter than hot. The best thing about his looks are his different colored eyes. I don't know what it's called, but he has one green eye and one blue eye. And they're piercing. When they look at me, I just want to melt. And the thing about it is, I have to hide everything. I remember the day we met. He probably doesn't. He hasn't paid attention to me. Neither has anyone else in my family or in this town. But I remember the day we met. I was sitting in my chair in our driveway when my sister Maura came up the driveway. She just casually, in her bitchy way, she says, "Oh, it's you," she said. "Of course it's me," I said. "Who else would it be? Mom and Dad were not home. Nobody else lives here." "Oh, whatever," she said. "Anyway, this is my new boyfriend, Mitch Knowles." "Hi," he said. My heart just stopped in my chest. I've never seen somebody so hot in my life. I already mentioned his eyes. One blue eye and one green eye. He has black hair, as black as night, and a chiseled jaw. Even in grade 9, he was gorgeous. I just couldn't stop staring at him. But as usual, like everyone else, he just gave me a placating wave. My sister dragged him away from me and into the house. Fantasia, I always dream of how that scenario could have played out if things had been different. My sister is a piece of work. She's always been. I see how she treats him, how she bosses him around, pretends to be the queen of the school. He pretends to be cocky too. But I know in my heart, that's all an act. That's who he's supposed to be. The cocky jock dating the high school cheerleader. You know how some people say that every human being has an angel on one shoulder and the devil on another? Well, Fantasia, I told you what the angel thought. The following scene details Marin's first fantasy, in which she and Mitch have some heavy petting time on top of Mara's car. You can listen to the actual audio scene when the actual audiobook comes out.